Alright, so this is Mr. Walker, and I'm going to do problem number 9. Problem number 9, it says, what is the difference in the rates of y equals 4x minus 9 and this table that you see on the left? Whenever you see a problem in algebra that's talking about rates, it's talking about the slope. Okay, it's talking about the slope. And I want to look at this function first. I want to ask myself, what is the slope of this function? Whenever you have an equation or a function where the y is all by itself on one side of the equation, then the number that's in front of the x, that's your slope. So here we have a 4. The 4 is in front of the x. Therefore, the 4 is the slope. So on this one, I have the slope is 4. Okay. So again, when it's solved for y, the number that's in front of your x is your slope. And when you have a problem that's asking about rates, well, it's talking about slope. So the slope on that one is 4. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move over to my table. I need to find out what is the slope of these points that are in this table. To do that, I need the slope formula. And the slope formula is, I'm going to write it right here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so to find the slope using that slope formula I just wrote, we need 2 points. We need 2 points. This right here, that's a point. -2, 4, that's a point. 1, -2, that's another point. 4, -8, that is a third point. To use this formula, I only need 2 points. And it doesn't matter which 2 you pick. I'm going to pick this one, -2, 4, and this one, 1, -2. So I'm going to write those over. I'm going to pick -2, 4, and 1, -2. So I just wrote that point right here, that point right here. And I'm going to label these. My first number is my x. So I'm going to call this x1. I'm going to call this y1 because my second number is my y. First number is my x. My second number is the y. So I'm going to call that x1 and y1. Down here, I'm going to call this first number, which is the x. I'm going to call it x2. Second number is the y. I'm going to call it y2. So my first point, I'm going to call my x x1. I'm going to call my y y1. For my second point, I'm going to call my x x2. I'm going to call my y y2. Then all you do is using this formula, you plug in your y2s and your y1. So I have a y2 minus y1. Well, there's my y2. It's -2. -2. So I'm going to put in a -2 into my y2 minus my y1. And my y1 is 4. So I'm going to plug that in right here. So it's -2 minus 4 divided by x2. Here's my x2, it's 1. So I'm going to put this 1 into the x2 minus my x1. My x1 is -2. I'm going to put that -2 right here. Minus -2. And then I'm going to figure out what this is. -2 minus 4. If you take a -2 and subtract 4, you're going to get a -6. And on the bottom, we have 1 minus a -2. When you subtract a negative, it's the same thing as adding a positive. So 1 minus negative 2 is the same thing as 1 plus 2, which is 3. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So the slope of this table right here is negative 2. Okay, so right here, the table had a slope of negative 2. This right there had a slope of 4. And the problem is saying, what is the difference in those rates? So I'm going to take the bigger number, the 4. Difference means subtract, and then I'm going to subtract this slope right here, which is negative 2. 4 minus negative 2. Subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive. So 4 minus negative 2 is 6. That's your answer. The difference in those two rates, the difference in those two slopes is 6. All right, I'll talk to you later.